Sometimes I feel nostalgic. It's a feeling I cannot explain.
All right, everybody. Let me just get this backed up a little bit. There we go.
Mike, in the shot.
You're going to have to move over just a little bit, Colin. Just a little bit. There we go. That'll work. That's awesome.
All
All right, everybody. So Metalhead Alliance here today in studio with our friends from Neptune The Mystic. We've got over here on my left, we have Colin, followed by Kaleb, Hayden in the back, Raphael, and Gentry. So thank you guys for taking the time and doing this interview with us today.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of out of the way for you guys, so appreciate it.
Oh, it's all good, man. Fun time. So we always like to get a little bit of the history of the band. Now, we know so far that 2013 was the year of the band's inception.
That was the year of the band's name.
Yeah, more or less.
That was the year the band was named. Okay, because here's where I'm getting that from. Your social media site that Facebook says that it was formed in 2013 by Hayden, Colin, and Raphael.
Yeah, I guess
So
it goes a little bit before that, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, Hayden's right. We officially named ourselves in 2013 and began going by that entity. But Raphael and I were playing together about a few months before that. Before we, I think at the time it was more kind of just something we were doing for fun. But then after we
for me, it was always serious.
well, okay, throw me under the bus.
he's like, I was just goofing around the whole time.
Well, yeah. And then after Hayden joined, then it became a lot more serious, I think, for all of us.
This was after Colin actually left a band with Ryan from Iron Uprise. They were in a band.
Yeah,
Really?
I was in a band with Ryan from Iron Uprise.
Interesting.
He actually is an old friend of mine. We went to grade school together.
Oh, wow.
And so that band was called Dark Myth. And if you guys know Distortion Sleep, if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Philip and Connor from Distortion Sleep were the other two members of that band, and we gave that a shot for a few months, and it just wasn't working out. And so I met Raphael actually during that time while we were playing together.
Okay.
We called one of his flyers that he had posted up at NTSU because he said the influence was symphonic metal, and I thought, no way, nobody knows what that is.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd thing
The
to...
rest is history.
It's a great story.
So he asked
I
me
was
to.
looking for a band because I moved to the United States to make music pretty much.
Really?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Well, originally, I've lived in Central America and Italy. So that's where
Wow. So you came here
I came here
with the intent to pursue a career in music.
and studies.
That's fantastic.
So I did
That's really
both,
cool.
And at the beginning when I started, it was just, okay, I'm here, I got this, and I just started putting flyers around to find a band. And I did some tryouts in other bands and it didn't work out. I made a band which didn't work out as well. It didn't have a name or anything.
Yeah, it's just
So,
so that's really cool to hear that this really kind of started through some real old-fashioned, old-school type of promotion. Some flyers up on billboards and stuff. No social media. You know, so anybody watching this, keep in mind that this shit still works.
Oh yeah.
This is a testament to that.
Yes.
So everybody has for the original, I guess, founding members of the band specifically. Your background in music came from back home. I'm assuming.
Yes, from back home. I did choir throughout my whole school. Primary, secondary school.
All right, and then Hayden's been a very, very based on his attire, very strong punk rock influence with the guitar. And Colin, you've got like a metal background.
I do.
So
I'm very similar to Raphael in that I was a choir boy for, probably 10 years. And then I did a concert band, and I was a woodwind player at the time. It never stuck with me. And so I actually kind of what you would call a Guitar Hero success story. Because you laugh, but Gentry's my brother, and so
I remember.
He can attest to that.
He just had those drums, and I remember at the time when all people played was Guitar Hero. I mean, unless you sang every now and then.
Guitar Hero, Metallica,
I can play expert, like Fire and Flames.
yeah.
Everybody can do that. But he was the one guy who actually wanted to try the drums instead, and before you knew it, we had Guitar Hero Metallica. and he was
Alright.
already playing Expert Plus like in no time.
That's you mean you started doing that before you went on to actual drums? Or?
Yeah, it's like
that's awesome.
I'm
That is
not
pretty
even
cool.
and I'm no shame in that there. And
That's
Um,
awesome.
so I wanted to try out the real thing, and by the end of high school, I was playing kits and playing gigs, and
Wow.
then I met Raph, and then the rest is history.
So with everybody's various background in terms of their musical influences, with the sound that Neptune has, how were you guys able to incorporate each of your individual influences with the music writing for Neptune?
I feel like it kind of started out. We kind of had an image of what we wanted to do when it started out with just the trio, Raph, me, and Colin. But we knew we weren't able to do that because it was just guitar, drums, vocals, that's it. So, you can't really pull off a symphonic metal style sound like that.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but well, actually, no, I wouldn't say that I was the initial songwriter. I guess Raph and I were the initial songwriters.
Yeah, it was the two of them who wrote most of our early.
You did like the
tunes.
lyrics, and then I would do the music. And the thing is, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And I'm coming into my own as a writer now.
Okay, I
the more
got
we
you.
progress. So the
You
most.
got your parts that you write
yeah.
as a drummer.
The most that I did.
Songs on your right too.
One of our older cuts, Bag of Daggers, which has a video that started from just the paradiddle drum rudiment, and then Hayden had a melody over that, and then Raph had lyrics, and so that was the most I could contribute in the early days.
I'm glad you mentioned that Bag of Daggers, which was one of our more successful songs as a trio, which we still played as like a 5-piece, but we kind of stopped playing it eventually because it represented a kind of sound we were going for as a trio. It was actually one of the earlier songs we wrote, and the thing is, as a trio, we researched bands like The Police and Rush and bands like that, even though we didn't have a bass player at the time, just to kind of get like that smaller band feel. And I ended up researching other more punk style bands, I guess, and other local bands too, from back at least 4 or so years ago when Raph and I started to go to actual local shows at places like The Grind or Three Brothers, these
Rest
old
in peace,
venues in
Grind.
Murfreesboro. And I took a lot of influence from that, from how it was very DIY, it was very simplified, and so I felt like, oh, well, we've only got 3 members, we don't even have a bass or anything like that, but we can still do it, we tried, and there's a sound that sort of came out of that, but it's not exactly what we wanted, and we didn't really achieve the sound that we really wanted until Kaleb and Gentry joined and helped to fill out our sound and fill out our
Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew.
And you guys are, it's bass and keys, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I knew back even when I started, because I've been in 4 or 5 other projects before this, I knew that symphonic industrial metal is what I wanted to do. And it worked out because he took an interest in keys, and so, I guess it was 2015, early 2015, late 2014 when we expanded to the 5-piece.
I don't remember. We
I don't
played our
remember
first show as
exactly.
a 5-piece at not Brew U. That was an older place.
Burrow Bar and
Burrow
Grill.
Bar and
That's
Grill.
it.
Borough Bar, yeah. It's a cool
Yeah.
little spot.
And of course, me being the older brother, I had a lot of control over what music he listened to. So I wouldn't say it's nepotism, but it's nepotism. So I talked to, because
Being the
I
older
met
brother, I told
Kaleb.
him what to do, and he better do it.
yeah, it's like I actually met Kaleb through Gentry because they were high school friends, and so when I heard Kaleb play bass, I kind of thought we had talked about doing another side project that would have been symphonic metal, and this was when Neptune was still, I guess we were more punk.
Yeah.
In the early days, and so I kind of came up with the idea of fusing the side project together with what was Neptune to become what we are now.
What we are now. Very cool. And
So his keyboard skills since we started have grown astronomically.
It's actually really funny. I didn't actually have a bass until I think it was you who asked me if I wanted to join a band, and I was like, "Sure. What do you guys need?" You were like, "We need bass," and I was like, "Okay."
yeah, I can do that. How hard
And
could it
so I
be?
bought my first bass for $70 with no strings.
Oh,
He's what we
Wow.
call the useful cunt.
there's a plug to our last interview that we did with Iron Uprise.
Yeah.
Their bassist, ironically, had a shirt on
He had
that
the
said,
shirt.
He did, yeah.
"The bass player's a useless guy."
We don't want that.
I've been
The
telling
shirt,
you
I mean,
guys,
the shirt,
buy
I
me-
mean.
Yeah, of course.
Buy me the shirt and I'll wear it.
I know.
You
We
don't
need to get you
care.
that
I
shirt.
think Quentin's got you beat though. Now so we got to find something else.
What is the who is or what Neptune the Mystic? All right, is there's something specific that like that? Is that his actual character or person that you're naming the band after, or is it where did that come from?
It came from
Came from
the
classic.
the classical music of Gustav Holst.
Okay, I was
He had-
wondering if that's what it was because I
He
saw.
had this piece called The Planets, where all
Yep.
the planets had a name. Jupiter the jovial, Saturn the bringer of old age, Mercury the
Mars, bringer of
messenger,
war.
Mars the bringer of war. It's a very popular one, and the last one in this piece was Neptune the Mystic, and I was in love with that piece ever since I learned about it in like middle school music class or something, and I loved the name, and it seemed to go with what we were going for, and I'm just like, I don't think everybody's ever used that name before. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
So we actually wrote that name down, and wrote a bunch of other names that we were debating at the time. Threw them into my hat. I used to wear this hat all the time. We threw it into the hat, and Colin picked out Neptune the Mystic, and that's what we've been going by ever since.
So wow, so the name of the band was something that you actually liked, but it was chosen purely by fate.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
a sense, it was
By-
just a
by whatever you want to call it.
yeah. So that's neat.
Luck.
Yeah.
It was meant to be. I don't know.
I mean, we love the name, so hey.
Yeah, it
That's-
does.
that's
It
all
is
that
very
matters,
cool.
right?
I don't know what the other names were.
What were do you remember what some of the other band names were that you guys were debating?
The Droggers.
The Abernathy
The hat.
Brothers.
The hat, your hat that you tossed it in, was it your jogger hat from because you wear that hat and you put on the right makeup and you look like from Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that's the hat I used to wear, and I used to wear that hat religiously. But yes, the very same hat, and then I had a list of like all these band names: the Droggers, the Abernathy Brothers, which was like named after the abandoned buildings on campus at MTSU.
We had like a bunch of names.
Just a bunch of like cool-ish names that we were.
space stuff, because
Yeah.
me and Hayden, we were both at that time. We were both in astronomy class.
Yeah, the
together.
astronomy class.
So every time the professor said a cool star name or something, we would
Yeah.
write it
We pretty
down
much did. That's
on
what
a
we
Yeah.
list.
That's cool, man. I like that. Recently, guys, you announced that I think it was like a week or two ago about your new album, which is going to be your first full length
Yeah.
album. So I don't know how much you can talk about that right now, but how long has the writing process been leading up to that announcement? How long have you guys been working on material to put together
Long
for
time.
an album?
Yeah, the songs, at least all the songs we were thinking about putting on this album, we've been playing for a long
Essentially,
time.
since we've been a 5-piece.
Yeah, basically.
And probably even before that, with just a trio. Because a lot of the songs that we play and that we've expounded on were already in existence when Gentry and I came into the picture, and we just sort of picked it up and ran with it.
Some might have been revised for certain parts, or I guess in this case extended a lot further than what the song originally was. Like we have one, for example, that's on there now, which I think in Illusions, that part at the beginning was what, like 2 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
Before all the Odyssey stuff. Now we've got like a 7 to 7.5 minute song.
Really?
Yeah,
Just
like
out of
an
what we can
instrumental
expand on
that
now.
goes after the main part, and then the instrumental lasts for a little bit. Plug is another example of like one that we originally wrote as a 3-piece, and is actually you can listen to the original version on our website
Yeah.
with our Blue EP, which we released as the trio,
Mhm.
and then we expanded on that with more keyboard elements, and we tried to add some more symphonic elements, and then we actually added a whole new bridge instrumental part to it as well, and made that also like from what used to be already a long song, about 5
Yeah,
minutes, to about
If
7
you ask me,
minutes.
it's so much better now.
It's a lot
than
better
what it
now,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I can speak for all of us when we're very proud of,
Mm.
especially some of these older songs, how they've grown
Yeah.
since the 3-piece
The,
days.
the evolving from that 3-piece to what you guys are now, and the keys like you were mentioning earlier, and just
Yeah.
all the components together. That's very cool. Any projection on a rough estimate on when it's going to be dropping?
Hopefully by the end of the year.
Cool.
Yeah, hopefully.
Very
We,
cool.
I can say drum tracks are done. That's all done. Keys are almost done. And so
They're
there's
either
just-
done or they're almost done, because
Because
we
he's-
finished up a lot of it.
When I was checking in last, he was almost done with his key parts.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have to tweak a little bass, have Hayden do his guitar, and then come in for vocals, and we'll be done.
Nice.
So
Well, we're definitely looking forward to that.
thanks.
I
Um,
think it's gonna be
Good
fun.
to hear.
Yeah, from what I've seen of you guys in your live performances, you seem to be a band that focuses a lot on delivering a unique visual experience in addition to you know, as much or equal to as your listening experience? Has it always been that way for you guys in terms of like when you made the band what you are now? Maybe not to the 3-piece, but when you started performing live shows as a 5-piece, has it always been something that you wanted?
I
remember
think
correctly,
at first it was. At first, it always felt more like we were just trying to get the music down and making sure everything sounded good enough to play live.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really until recently that we all started taking on different appearances when we hit the stage.
When we would often play live, I just remember, and this was even before the one gig we played before MTAC, the anime convention most of us really go to every year.
Mm-hmm.
There was one where we all cosplayed at a gig we played before that, but gosh, even before that, I remember the rest of us not necessarily appalled, but we just seemed flabbergasted when Hayden comes in right before we play live. We're just like, what are you wearing? But when we think
What's
about
going
it,
on
it's
here?
so cool to do
that's
that.
That's half of a Neptune show. Is you just
It-
never know what the hell Hayden's gonna be.
Tell me, like you would be
And-
in the car on the way to the gig, and you'll be like, "What do you think Hayden's gonna wear this time?"
We seriously would do that. And then we rap at the same time, like literally is taking on the persona of
He
what
wouldn't
a lot
let anybody
of,
see his costume before
Oh,
the
yeah.
show.
Really?
Yeah, he would
I-
like run off.
Yeah, I
So-
joke it's
dress
almost
up
like
as
how you
something.
know it's bad luck for a bride.
For the bride, I was thinking of the same thing. Yeah.
It's bad luck for the band to see the singer before the show. And so, going off of that, we just decided, hell, you know, it's time that we match their energy. And so now we, because we're all a bunch of geeks at heart, and like Gentry was talking about conventions and cosplaying and stuff like that, and we thought, you know, why not just add that love to our live show?
Yeah.
There's always been this thing that I've heard about, like, when people go to a live show. What I've heard is that when people go to a live show, they don't necessarily go to listen to music. They go to experience a moment. They
Mhm.
go to experience a show, which incorporates visual as well as audio. Audio. I don't know if the right word for that is, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
that's right.
So the thing is, like if they want to listen to the music, they want to listen to the album, they just listen to it at home, and it's so easily accessible nowadays. Thanks to, especially thanks to things like the internet and
Yeah.
you know, being able to access music. If you want to listen, you listen to music from all around the world in an instant nowadays, thanks to things like Spotify or YouTube or anything like that.
Mhm.
But you know, there's got to like, why would you even bother going to see the band live unless you're just really into the band themselves? And so it kind of comes. There's like a twofold thing with that, and that for people who don't know who we are, we give them a reason to want to come to the show
Yeah.
by like, for example, one show we did this like goth industrial show at the Block a while back. We were going to use a lot of heavy strobe lights, so I put up this warning on the Facebook
I
page
remember
saying,
that.
like, warning, what we are about to do has been cleared by the venue, but it may be very dangerous, so please be careful if you come out tonight. But I didn't say what it was,
Yeah.
because I wanted to bring up some,
Yeah, give some,
I want to get people talking
Some
about
incentive, right?
it. So that's like for the people who don't know us. For the people who do know us, you know, then it's just a matter of enhancing everything that they already know about us by wanting to come and see the visual performance, almost the theatrical
Yeah,
performance of
yeah.
the music.
Well,
To
I-
sort of play off that for a quick second is, I think to some degree, all of us in the group are in some manner inspired by a group such as, just to name one, Pink Floyd and their extravagant productions for
Exactly.
every live show.
Mhm.
On top of that, something I think I've said quite a few times towards everybody in here is to sort of, in a way, do a live show the way Peter Gabriel did in Genesis, where he would
Yeah.
act out on stage what was going on
Yeah.
throughout the entire song,
Sure.
just to sort of give the audience an actual show instead of just playing music.
Mhm.
Yeah, like we actually just got back from the World Wired Metallica tour.
Oh,
for,
nice.
Hardwired, and we caught them in Atlanta, and they had the entirety of the SunTrust Park rented out, and I just remember this giant jumbotron, probably 5 to 6 stories tall.
Man.
And from where we were standing, you know, Lars doesn't exactly have a tiny kit, but his kit
Just
is
yeah,
just like this
minuscule.
compared to how big the jumbotron was. And when they when one came on, they had fireworks and lights synced to the machine guns at the beginning.
Oh wow.
And so towards the end, when they had lights flickering and machine guns going, and so it's just, I remember that's a band I hadn't seen them before, and I had wanted to see them since I was a teenager, and I'd heard the songs a million times over, but seeing the show and the lights and the fireworks
Right.
and
The
stuff
production
just
of
made
it all.
worth it all.
Yeah.
And so, coming back from something like that, you want to go, how can we
Yeah, inspires you to
give that jovial feeling to somebody else?
sure.
What were you gonna say next?
Oh, I'm agreeing with what you're saying because
Okay.
it's to me a live show is there has to be something there that I can take away from that I wouldn't have gotten just from listening to the music.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so even if you're not, you know, with a costume or with makeup or with light or, you know, there has to be something that I'm visually like, wow, that's really cool. You know, like something that I'm going to remember you by or something that other people, because everybody has a sound, right? You know, so it's giving you that visual. I'm gonna do a few just oddball comparison questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cake or pie?
Is this for the individuals or? For
Yeah,
choosing?
we'll just kind of go like around. Maybe we'll start with Colin and kind of go.
Oh man. I'll say cake, except for Corky's chocolate pie.
Okay.
Corky's has a damn good chocolate
That's
pie.
fair. That's fair.
Better be for $16 a pie.
Yeah,
Whole
yeah,
box.
yeah.
I'd actually say pie, just because for me icing is way too sweet on most
Yeah.
cakes, and I can feel the sugar rotting my teeth. I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Ugh."
Yeah, give me, yeah. Hayden.
The original Oyster House in Gulf Shores, Alabama, has a peanut butter Oreo pie that is absolutely delicious. I would kill Kaleb for it.
Well, at least you know where you stand.
Specifically Caleb.
Caleb?
He's closest.
I do have a shield here.
Oh yes, that foam will protect me so great.
It is a highly
Look.
shield.
About you,
I
right?
would say cake.
Cake. All right.
I don't know. I've been going back and forth. Maybe pie. I mean, I would only say that just because of health reasons. Like
Mm-hmm.
they both can be equally like with sugar, but like you're more
At least
likely,
pie has like fruit in it.
you're
most
more
of the time.
likely to find fruit in a pie than you would cake. I mean,
Yeah.
you can just throw strawberries on a cake, but yeah, like the icing, just
Yeah.
I don't know. Still,
Yeah. I'm with you on there.
More
I'm-
calories than us, or like tend to need more calories than us, though, don't you?
Sometimes.
Okay, never mind. That was it.
Health corner with Gentry.
We're talking about pie.
It's pie and
I
cake
just
here. We don't really
threw all
care
that
about
out the
health.
window.
I mean,
You know?
he is a registered personal trainer.
Oh,
So
okay.
hey, he's the guy to talk to.
Very cool. Italian food or Mexican food?
Italian.
Spaghetti tacos.
Ah, he done threw the combo in there.
Spaghetti tacos.
Spaghetti and tacos?
Like you put
You ever had
spaghetti.
spaghetti tacos?
do that?
It's so good.
It's delicious.
Disgusting.
So you put it like the
That seems
spaghetti
like the
in a
tauntaun
taco
that he cuts
shell.
open in Star Wars.
You like take
It's just
the
like
take
noodles
the taco
and
shell, put noodles in it, and then cover it with the taco meat.
I'll make sure the rest of you heard his comparison with Star Wars just now.
I heard Star Wars, and that's all.
Is it where he cuts the tauntaun open and it's just noodles and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
I just ruined it for
Yeah, I
you.
can't eat spaghetti tacos now.
Ew.
Thanks.
Good, because it's disgusting.
He is so mean to me. All the time.
Well, you
Sorry.
right off the rip, man. You combine the two. It's like no.
But yeah, it's just... Okay.
So are you sticking with spaghetti tacos?
I'm gonna stick with spaghetti tacos.
Okay.
Because that's my two favorite
Final
foods,
answer.
and I can't pick between them.
For me, being the fat ass I am at heart, and a little bit in reality anyway, I just like food in general.
Yeah.
So it really depends on my mood. If I'm in the mood for Italian food, I'll probably get Italian food, make myself a nice pasta. But if I'm in the mood for Mexican food, I'm gonna get Mexican food.
Yeah.
More specifically, a burrito I had recently it's a Hawaiian burrito.
Ah.
So it was shrimp, chicken, and steak all wrapped in the burrito with beans and rice, and then chorizo on top and grilled pineapple rings
Ooh.
with the white cheese.
Yeah. That does sound pretty good, actually. What about you, Hayden?
I'd kill
I've-
Hayden twice for that burrito.
I'd kill you, resurrect you, and then kill you again.
No, I'd go with probably Italian food because I have eaten some pretty decent Mexican food, but I've eaten some really good pizza. Like
Yeah.
I've eaten New York pizza. I've eaten pizza in Italy. I've eaten
Oh, wow.
lots of great. I'm a pizza lover. I'm absolutely obsessed with pizza,
I can't
and so I guess I just tend to have a better taste about it. Like
Yeah.
I guess I'm more picky about it, especially because I'll be like, I want like the very best ingredients and the best everything. Whereas
Sure.
with tacos or something like that, or Mexican food, I just go to Taco Bell.
Well,
It doesn't matter as much to me, but
He goes
Yeah.
to Taco Bell.
It's awful the fact that it is. I love pizza, but I can't eat it because I work in pizza. It just doesn't
yeah,
work.
I
Yeah.
know that feeling.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's-
Raph,
yeah.
this is going to be an interesting one for you, given some of like your ethnic background and where you've lived.
Yes, I
So.
know, but Italian for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
He's told us about some of the foods from where he grew up, and they sound amazing.
Yeah.
Just him talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like-
My grandfather was like he wasn't born in Italy, but pretends that his parents were from Italy and they came over here when he was born. Before he was born. So, but he's 100% Italian and. He was always cooking something. I mean, to the point where he wouldn't even buy pasta. He would make it himself.
That's
Nice.
You know,
That's
so.
Great.
That's the life right there.
Can I make this decision when I've had authentic of both?
Of both. Well, based on what you've had now, if you had to narrow it
One
down.
goes with wine, another goes with margaritas.
We're basing our decisions on the
Classy.
alcohol.
I guess in that case Italian, but I do like guac.
Can you make Italian guacamole though?
So do you want?
You're over here putting spaghetti and
I'll
tacos.
take it.
I'm sure he could figure out a
I'll
way
go
to.
to an Italian or a Mexican restaurant around Nashville. Because I mean, you've been lived down there longer than I have. So you should know some places.
Mhm.
What, Raph, what was that place we went with my cousin? That place.
It's,
You remember that?
Amerigo.
A minute ago. Was that like
Oh, here
authentic
goes the good
Italian? Was
stuff.
that more Americanized? Because it was
Well,
good.
I've been to
It's
Amerigo's.
very Americanized.
Is it?
It's
Okay,
not
never
bad.
mind.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I
But
feel
It's
Maggiano's
not
is
bad.
more authentic.
Yeah, that's what I remember. It was good.
Yeah.
Where is
Maggiano?
Maggiano's.
I'm gonna check that out. You tell me about that
It's
later. I'm gonna check that out. 'cause I-
Pricey.
you should try Gondolier in Murfreesboro.
Mexican
Gondolier's really good.
food, like authentic Mexican food. You can find like you can go to like a local taqueria
If you
truck
really
or
want
something.
authentic,
and
yeah, authentic.
Yeah,
Mexican
$1.50
food,
for
taco
a
truck. They're everywhere.
loaded
Exactly,
taco.
and they're
That's
cheap.
true.
Yeah.
The authentic Italian food is really expensive, so you know.
Also,
you gotta weigh your
for those of you
options.
in Nashville and you who want authentic Hispanic food of any kind, Plaza Mariachi.
We'll have to check that out.
Road.
I've heard of
We'll have
that.
to check that out.
Great. It's one of the coolest things I've seen come up in Nashville in a while.
Really.
That's cool.
I've heard of that. Last comparison question: werewolves or vampires?
We've been told it sounds like we summon werewolves, so I'm gonna have to go with werewolves.
That you guys summon werewolves?
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
your
the
music
goth
is-
show that Hayden
Oh,
was
okay.
talking about that we played, and somebody came up and said you guys sound like you summon werewolves. So
Probably
Interesting.
one of our
Okay.
favorite comments.
And I do play a werewolf in Skyrim, so I'm a little biased.
Fair enough.
Uncontrollable rage and moonlight. Can't go out in the day. Well, I already don't go out in the day, so.
Werewolf. Easy decision there. All right, Hayden.
Definitely, and Castlevania, the Castlevania series we all just got into on Netflix, and it's like so we're fans of vampires as it is, and like he's wearing the Helsing shirt and everything, so vampires are up there, but the werewolf music on it was kind of cool. I don't know if I could pick on, so I think it'd be a tie for me. No, but I have to pick. I have to.
Underworld.
Huh?
Just say Underworld and.
I'll pick
Look at that.
vampires because I cosplayed as Alucard one year.
Okay.
For the
For the
show.
adamant, yeah.
So I'm going with vampires.
Vampires.
That's fair.
Vampires.
I guess werewolves.
All right. Werewolves win by a landslide. It
Were you
seems.
watching Twilight when you came up with that question?
No.
He was watching the eclipse.
Yeah.
And he'll fight for you.
Speaking
if your
of
heart
awful
stops beating.
movies, don't watch the new Death Note live action.
I've heard.
good. I've
I've heard.
not good things about it. I've heard like either bad or neutral things about it. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything.
It hasn't
super
been like
positive.
blown.
Quite
mind-blowing.
literally, the only reason I continued to watch it after the first 5 minutes was Willem Dafoe.
Is Ryuk, yeah.
That's interesting.
Let's name one place that you guys would absolutely just hands down, no matter what, we have to play a live show here. What would that one place be?
That we want to play.
Could it be anywhere?
Anywhere.
Okay,
Walk in
yeah.
open air. Walk in open air.
Fucking, yeah.
What country is that in?
Germany.
That's in
Usually
Germany.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's symphonic metal, European metal.
Yeah, that's
central.
That's
well,
a great
like
one, yeah.
that's like metal mecca right there.
Yeah, and then anybody can play there. Like Camelot's played,
Yeah.
Nightwish is played. So just anybody like when you have Nightwish in the same show as Amon Amarth, then
Right.
that's a
That's
good
great.
show.
Yeah.
I would like also like the rock amps, like Rock'em Ring,
Mhm.
Rock'em
Yeah.
Park,
Mm-hmm.
and Download. Pretty much European festivals.
European festivals is where it's
That's
at.
probably going to be my answer too. Actually, I'd have two. Either European festivals, which includes Wacken.
Yeah.
Is that what's pronounced? Yeah. Or realistically, like if we had to be kind of down to earth, like somewhere like Exodus or Marathon. That would be wonderful.
Well,
And assuming we could get like crowds into those venues.
At least
Yeah,
with
work
those
your way
venues,
up.
the shows could still be intimate. If you were
Yeah.
playing
Sure.
at Bridgestone or something, then it's people having to struggle to see you, even if you do have the screen. But
Right, right.
yeah, any of those other
That's what
venues,
you
somebody
do
can
what
actually.
Metallica did and put the stage right in the middle.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But then, like anybody who comes in there could still weasel their way up to the front and maybe give you like a quick handshake or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Something intimate.
But yeah, European festivals would be fun.
Nice.
Or even Bonnaroo. Bonnaroo would be fun.
Ozfest would be entertaining.
Mhm.
Ozfest would be great.
Yeah, if we, yeah. Last question I've got for you guys: if you could travel through time, when and where would you travel? And this could be past or future.
Okay.
Start with Colin. Keep it in that pattern.
Take a second.
There's a couple of places I would love to see. The first Woodstock where Hendrix performed
Mm,
Star Spangled Banner.
nice
Just so I've seen YouTube videos of it and I've heard live cuts, but I would love to see that.
experience that. Yeah,
Experience that firsthand.
for sure.
And I'd love to see Seattle '89 Metallica.
Mm,
Just because it's the same thing. I've seen YouTube videos of that, and that just looks like a hell of a show.
yeah, yeah.
And this happened just recently. It was, I believe I don't remember if it was Knotfest or it was another show. It was in Japan where it was Black Sabbath and Slipknot together. Just to see
Yeah.
that show. Because it would be the closest thing to, because I think Black Sabbath has done
Yeah, like
after.
like they retired. They did their last show ever.
And then that's like, I love live music and just everything about it. So just, that's, if I could travel anywhere, it'd probably be there.
Nice.
Just any of the big historical shows.
Yeah,
You said past or future.
past or future. If you could
Alright,
go.
done deal. I'm gonna go straight all the way until I make a lightsaber and I'll bring one back.
Just wherever that point in time is.
I'll find it. It might take me like 5 years, but I'll be back at like before those 5 years.
Right. Just keep jumping around.
I would love to. Well, I'd love to see like an old Led Zeppelin concert or like an old Beatles concert.
Mm.
Like I'm a huge fan of like of Jimmy Page, and I love watching their like old videos on YouTube and
Where's
stuff
the
like
Bow?
that. Where's the Bow? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like old Beatles
God,
concerts
you
where it's just.
destroyed that shuffle bow.
Yeah.
That was so painful to watch, but it was so nice.
But they you said anywhere, right? Like
Yeah, anywhere
before
in-
that.
yeah.
So, geez, that's a good question. I would actually love to see. I'd love to see like performances by, like I've heard great stories about performances by people like Franz Liszt or Niccolo Paganini or even like Beethoven. Beethoven has been known to like in his later years he was known to have gone senile to the point where actually this might be before he lost his hearing. I'm not sure because I've heard a story about where he'll be playing a song with a concert. And just out of nowhere, he'll stop and he'll just start cussing out like the musician next to him out of nowhere. And he will just be sitting there confused, like, what the hell is going on?
He's the Buddy Rich before
You've
Buddy
heard about
Rich.
this story,
Yeah.
right, Raph?
That's
I
what
would just
Buddy
love
Rich,
to
that's
see
the
something
idea.
like that. That would just blow me away.
Raph.
Oh, I would like to go probably like 30 to 40 years in the future and just see what happens and know that what I did was meaningful.
Sure. Like you had a
Great.
legacy.
Just
Yeah.
you know, just know that what I did it on purpose, and you know, I tried what I wanted to try. You know,
Yeah.
have nothing left out.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Dude, I
guess.
feel that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just making sure that I did everything.
Yeah, like you
that
went
I
ahead and say, all
wanted
right,
to.
I did it.
Yeah.
I made my mark.
Even
Oh.
though you know you never know where it's going to lead,
Sure.
or how far you're going to get, but at least know that you tried everything that you wanted to do. You know.
Mhm.
that-
No regrets.
Thing
type
is,
of
we'll
thing.
get there eventually. But what we have is the here and now. So we've got a chance to make that happen.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If I had the option, God, I'd be doing this so many times. I would make like whole vacation sets.
Yeah.
Honestly, so like one, I would definitely go to like, or want to see the oldest civilizations of the world. I want to see Babylon, Mesopotamia, like earliest forms of Egypt.
Yeah.
And then on another one, just see Oh man, I don't even know.
Find out what happened to the Incas.
There you go.
That's a
Mm.
great one, actually.
Interesting.
We'll definitely do that. I think I might have the years mixed up.
Roanoke.
See who?
The lost civilization of Roanoke.
They all went to Croatan Island, I thought. Because they had like the CRO carved into the trees.
Well, they did, but nobody
That was
knows
good.
for a fact
Oh,
what
I
happened.
gotcha.
That's true, yeah, but I think if you trace back like their heritage of like people in Croatan Island, you'll like notice like there are people at the time documented with pale skin and like blue eyes. I think are like in their heritage later on. But you know, yeah, you never know for sure, I guess. So.
Yeah, I interrupted. My
That's
bad.
true.
No, you're
Sorry.
good. You're good.
And then I interrupted him.
And we've had the option to see how the earliest forms of martial arts, at least
That's true.
more at the eastern side.
Uh-huh.
There's years and people's names that are thrown around so much. Sometimes they've said 2600 BC.
Wow.
The name Daruma Taishi, native from India, has come up several times. Apparently, he went to China and like through his teachings were the first forms of Shaolin Kung Fu. But
Nice.
you know,
Yeah.
some of it can still be speculation.
Right. Well, yeah, that all those Eastern styles of martial arts, it's you get like just kung fu in itself is just a terminology, and you've got so many different, like 3,000
Like
different
umbrella
styles
terms?
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
just like
agree.
okay, it's just like this is what it is. But underneath of that umbrella, there's so many different styles because it was I think it was basically based on the regions and the tribes, you know. So it was this certain tribe's style of fighting. And then they had to figure out this rivaling tribe had to figure out a way to beat them.
Yeah.
So they would come up with their own style based off of. So everything was kind of like molded and customized. So it's like so much that is probably not even known to this day.
I was
you
sure it
know.
was based off animals, like the mantis or.
Well, that, but I mean, it's
Some
like
of them
this
actually,
this
yeah.
person like his mantis style is
Yeah.
probably different from mine.
Oh, okay.
Because
that's
of the
right.
fact that I
Yeah.
was a rivaling thing, and
Now
I'm like,
that makes
okay, well, I need to
sense.
figure
Okay.
out a way to, you know, slightly
Okay.
different, cool like that. So yeah, very good answers, guys. Any upcoming shows that you need to plug? Or are you guys working on that, or are you just focusing mostly on studio?
So we're
October.
working on October 21st at the Cobra. We're actually not sure how much he wants me to say of this. We're trying to do we're trying to do a fundraiser to help fund the live music portion of next year's MTAC.
Okay.
But we're kind of still putting it together. We don't have anybody else on the bill that we can announce yet.
Sure.
So that's still in the works. Actually, we've been kind of taking some breaks from live shows for right now to focus on the album
Yeah.
and get that done, and then hopefully start next year, start promoting it through live shows and other things like radio stations and
Very cool.
whatever we can do, video and stuff like that.
Fantastic, man. We are definitely looking forward to, like I said, you know, seeing and hearing the new album, hopefully by the end of this year or whenever it's ready. I don't want to rush you guys through that, so just keep doing your thing, and congratulations on being able to at least tell us about that. So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So once again, everybody, Neptune the Mystic, check them out you're on Facebook, right? Bandcamp.
Our website.
And we
You have a
actually
website,
have our
NeptuneTheMystic.com.
Yep.
Anywhere else?
YouTube, Twitter,
YouTube,
Instagram.
yeah, YouTube's a great one.
So
And
YouTube-
Twitter and Instagram, yeah.
Excellent. So everybody just check out the description of the video for the links to follow and keep track of Neptune the Mystic on any of your social media platforms of your choice. And stay tuned for more coming soon from Neptune the Mystic.
Thank you.
All right.
Explain.